It was a gun.
I'm not voting.
If we want to build our nation.
The problem with the Somalians.
Just want to experience something else than a black man.
Move on, move
Can't be
forward.
like a horse with blinkers on.
Honestly say, I was about to have sex
Corrupt
and then I pulled
crap,
up.
but it's nice.
Hi, my name is Nishay Karasa. I'm a filmmaker and a musician.
Hi, I'm Wiswan Sadu. I am a counselor.
I'm Linda Kushe, MFA, and I'm a social entrepreneur, trauma, and mental health activist.
My name is Akhana Sakhamza. I do advertising and acting, theater.
My name is Linda Kushe, MFA. I'm a mental health and trauma activist, so I work with NPOs.
I didn't know that I was pregnant until I was 7 months pregnant. So my mom took me to the doctor, and then the doctor said I was 6 months pregnant. And she was so shocked. So I couldn't tell her that I'm pregnant. The doctor told her, you know. So what happened is that, okay, she was like, okay, you disappoint me, all the stuff, blah, 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 blah. But you know what? The baby, it's a blessing. So at least there's one more baby coming. So we were like, went along with that. But she was like supportive, you know. And then when I go to the clinic, they said, I'm 7 months pregnant. And she was furious with me, saying that I thought you were 6 months pregnant. Now you are 7 months pregnant. So you already gonna have a child right now. I was like, oh my God. And I was so scared.
How do I tell my own mother that I'm in school and I'm expecting a child at the same time? That was the scariest part that I never wanted to do, because I was the only person studying. And my mom was a domestic worker, and I was like, how do I approach my mom and sit down and say, I am pregnant?
I also found out 6 months, when I was 6 months pregnant, that I was pregnant. And then my mom is in the Eastern Cape and I'm in Cape Town with my aunts. So I think my mom was more disappointed with the fact that now I'm staying at somebody else's house and I'm already a burden myself. Now I'm pregnant. So my mom was really worried about that. And when I was coming to Cape Town, I was coming to Cape Town to look for school, like for college, or maybe a job, because it was really hard at home. So I think those things were what my mom had a problem with. But then about the baby, my mom was very excited because it was her first grandchild. And she wanted me to come home and actually give birth closer to her so that she can be able to help me. But then I felt like it was just not going to be possible, because I also wanted the father of the child to take some responsibility before the child was born. I also wanted to talk about the child with the baby father and just make things right for the sake of the child. But then we were no longer in a relationship together. So I don't think there was much strain in me breaking the news, because I didn't have to do it alone. My family helped me with it. So she understood, she kind of understood that I've made a mistake. And then it was still possible for me to make things right afterwards. She was also grateful that she's still alive. She can take care of the baby and I can go back and do the things that I was supposed to do.
I found out when I was 9 months pregnant that I have twins. Yeah, fainted. I fainted, I'm telling you. I fainted because I thought I had one child. Now I've got two troubles. You know?
Yo.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
And my mom was crying, saying, twins.
Hey, but the nice thing is that at least you had that support from your mom. Because I know majority of the teenagers is like, sometimes the worst case scenario is their parents would kick them out. So at that support, you know, that's also like a nice.
So what happened after I give birth to my babies, when they were like 2 months pregnant, you know, my mom kicked me out.
Yo.
She kicked me out, and then I had to go and stay with my cousin. And I was so angry because I didn't know what did I do wrong and what I'm gonna do with these two babies. And they are so, you know, they're so fragile, you know. So I stay a week there, and then she came back, and then she told me, no. It just hit me that you've got children, and I didn't expect that from you. So she started to apologize, and then everything was fine.
What was your experience giving birth for the first time as a teenage mother? Because you yourself, like, you still like young. I'm sure it must have been scary. Like, you were thinking about it a lot, in your head a lot. It's never happened to you before. It's your first time, and you were a teenager. So what was your experience giving birth for the first time, Makona?
I didn't know what's going on, but I thought I was gonna die. And they were like, no, no, you know what? You're gonna have a natural birth. I was like, "Oh, what are you talking about? Because I'm feeling like I'm gonna die. This is it's painful, I'm telling you. For myself, it was painful. And I'll be
Phew,
like
I
speaking lots of languages. So what happened is that the doctor that helped me to deliver the babies, he was so happy. And I don't see why he's happy because the way I felt, yeah, I can't even explain. After I give birth, it takes three days for me to wake up. And then I find out, okay, I've got two babies. I thought they were lying. I said, no, 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 I don't have. They said, no, this is your babies. They are your babies. Feed them. I was like, yo,
it's
I
like
was traumatized.
I don't know. I've never spoken about this particular part where you are in labor. So what happened is I'm at home and I'm alone and I'm experiencing labor. So I had to call one of my aunts and tell them like, this is how I feel and I think this is what's going on. So now there's no one at home. So they asked me, should we call someone with a car like to come and get you? So I'm like, no, I think I'm fine. Guys, I can be very like pain tolerant. When it comes to physical pain, I kind of like, I don't know, it's very wrong of me, but then I'm very pain tolerant person. So I was like, no, it's fine. I'm gonna catch a taxi and go to False Bay Hospital. So I'll call a friend. So the friend is gonna come and then she's gonna accompany me to the hospital. I think we are the same age or she's 1 year older than me. The friend that I'm calling is a girlfriend to my baby daddy behind my back. I didn't even know. I think I knew, a friend told me about it, but then she was my friend before this had happened. And because I felt like I had no respect for this man or whatever, so I was not willing to let go of the friendship. As long as we are fine, I'm no longer with this guy, but then we have a baby and that's it. So the friend comes running like, okay, let's prep and stuff like that. So now we're gonna go to a taxi, we're carrying a bag. Now we need to find a way not to let the driver know that I'm actually in labor because the driver is not gonna allow us in a taxi. So we walk and then we find a taxi and the driver, the first thing he asks is like, are you in labor? I'm like, no, I'm not. He was like, where are you guys going? I'm saying, like, we're going to Fishhook. So we get into a taxi and the taxi starts like taking people on the streets and then it gets full, the taxi leaves. Now I'm in the taxi. I'm not supposed to make any noise or whatever because I told the driver I was not in labor. So I was sitting there like in pain, but then holding it back because I'm like, I can't let the driver get us out of, like, kick us out of the taxi. We get to the hospital and the nurses know what's going on. I got to this ward and everyone is like crying. Like it's crazy. Now I'm even more scared because what the hell is going on here? It's my first time. I've never been here before. I didn't even know there's such like a ward in a hospital where people are just like in labor. It was, oh my word. It was terrible. Like it was terrible. It was something that I thought I would never have to go through again. It was really, really painful. And what happened is I think I got there around like 5 p.m. I was in labor for that whole evening until the following morning. I only gave birth the following morning around 8 o'clock, only because the doctor who was there in the afternoon when I got there found me there when he came back for his next shift. And he was like, are you still here? And are you still in labor? I was like, yes, I am. He ran me a warm bath. That was the only time that we like the pain stopped. And then I actually gave birth in that moment. So it was a very traumatic experience. Also because of the nurses, also because of the people around you who are also going through it. It was like just freaking me out. I lied, obviously, and said I'm never going to be there again. Obviously, I did. I went back 5 years later. But then, yeah, it was a traumatic experience. It's very painful.
Then the doctor was like, you don't have a choice. You just have to give birth. And I was like, no, I don't want to give birth. I wasn't ready to give birth. And they're like, but you are gonna give birth to them. Like, isn't there anything else you can use? Anything? They're like, no, you're gonna give like natural birth. I'm like, what? What's natural birth? Because I didn't even know what natural birth is. And it seems like the more they keep me talking, then I just heard they say, okay, I can see the head, you need to push. I'm like, what? Then that's when I like gave birth. I was like, I kind of like, I'm never gonna have babies anymore. This is it. As small as that child is, nope, never ever gonna have.
I couldn't go out with my friends anymore because I have to stay with my babies. And I stayed for 2 years with them, like no going out, no friends, just me and my babies and my mom. So on that 2 years, my mom said, no, I'm tired of you being here at home. I know that you did a mistake. Please just go out. Then that's whereby I started to go out with my friends.
When it comes to what it has done to my life at that stage, it's that it has derailed my life. It has derailed my plans. My dreams were delayed because of this, because now I have a baby. That means my life will revolve on the fact that you're a mother. So whatever I wanted to do had to involve a child in my life. So I think I couldn't go to college when I wanted to. At that time, I had to wait I think I waited for the longest time, because even when I wanted to go to college, I couldn't, because now the baby father was supportive, but then it was not enough. It's never enough, guys. Kids are expensive. Even the things we used to call like basic things that you need are so expensive. Back then, they were maybe better than they are now. But then still, for me at that time, as a child who is not working and only dependent on the baby father and the family to provide for me, it was too much financially, so I had to look for a job. That means now I have to grow up very quick. Now you're an adult child who has another child. So I had to grow up too quick. That was very traumatic, like on my like system. It was like it was not healthy for a child to just have to grow up and be responsible for things like that. I think, so I couldn't go to school for like years.
For me, is that, if you have a child in the early age, it's traumatizing because this baby doesn't know anything and you don't even know anything. So you have to figure out what's going on. And yes, I know that our mothers, they were there, by the way, but at the time, they have to go to work. You're gonna stay along with this baby. You have to know when the baby's crying, you have to know what does he need, And for myself, there were two, imagine. But at least they were younger siblings of me. My cousins, they came and take the babies away. I can sleep, in the day, they bring them back. But still, it's not good.
I had to work in retail for over 6 years. It was very hard for me. I couldn't even think about school at that time because my mom was no longer working, sitting at home. So I had to take the child at least for 3 years to stay with my mother. Now I'm being disconnected to the baby, and the baby is disconnected from me because here in Cape Town, it's so hard for me to pay for creche. Yes, I'm staying at my aunt's place, but then I still need to buy food. I need to buy, it was just too much.
But it's a big thing, I'm telling you, to a teenager to have
I
a
can
child.
understand.
I'm telling you, I don't wish that for any child. I think they must just go to school, study more, not having children. It's a big thing and it's stressing.
My dream is to be successful.
My dream is to publish my own biography.
My dream is to be successful and make sure that my babies, they get everything that they need.
My dream is to find my purpose in life, and I hope it adds value to my life, my children, and those around me.
Yazi, you should ever sit and talk with people, or else take a walk and create a straight talk. Talk what is nice, it will make you feel stronger. Listen what is right and say what is wrong. You should ever sit and talk with people, or else take a walk and create a straight talk. Talk what is nice, it will make you feel stronger. Listen what is right and say what is wrong.